Man, this game's fucking dog shit. Okay. Let me elaborate some more. Watch Dogs Legion is a Ubislops third-person shooter released in 2020 by Ubisoft, a company that I have less than positive feelings for. Now, let me preface this video with a bit of context. See, I played Watch Dogs 1, and I didn't really like it all that much. However, I did play Watch Dogs 2, and I really liked it. It is a significant improvement over 1, you use your hacking abilities way more, and you had just generally more options and interesting doodads and gizmos. And that was why I was less than pleased upon seeing Legion's trailer.
This had better be good.
Firstly, the entire idea of recruiting anyone for the unique skill sets felt like an odd direction to go with Watch Dogs, considering that it's a game entirely about being the hacker guy. An idea like this feels like something that could have been its own game. And also, this is Ubisoft, who are the NBA superstars of telling you that we have something super cool and neat and new and crazy to show you, and you get to play this. And then you play it and you realize, yeah, I played Far Cry 3. Yeah, I played Assassin's Creed Odyssey. They like to tell you you're doing something new and different, when in reality, any of the changes or features that they add, they do in the most superficial way possible. Now, I've had this view on this company for quite a long time, and I really had no interest in playing Legion at first. So, why am I doing this? Well, you see, my friends bought this for me and wanted me to make a video on it. Don't worry, there's no hard feelings here at all. It's all under the bridge. Oh, so, one second, I'm getting a call real fast. 1 second. Yeah, hello? Yeah, this is your 4 o'clock. Okay, so after some thought, I kind of realized the blast radius isn't going to be enough for my liking. So I was wondering, could I upgrade to the family pack and then, send that to my friends? Wait, was it buy 3 and get a free Columbia necktie? Yes, please! Now, I think it's immediately obvious that you can tell that I'm not a big fan of this game. First off, there's the story. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Watch Dogs 1 and 2 were writing masterclasses by any means. Half of the main cast of characters in 2 were annoying caricatures of what Ubisoft thought were hip and cool kids were like. Aw man, we like to skateboard, do drugs, we're also autistic.
Can I have a hug?
Yeah, I have a 2-second...
And Watch Dogs 1 had the Plank from Ed, Edd n Eddy as the main character. However, they were still people you could get attached to and see how their stories develop. Now, before I get into the story and characters of Legion, I want to make clear that I had to play this fucking game twice, because the first time I played, all my footage got corrupted. Why do I do this to myself? Is there something wrong with me? However, upon replaying the game, I had the realization that I forgot 90% of the goddamn plot. So, after having a fresh playthrough in my mind, and playing through this game 2 times, allow me to read you the plot. So, at the beginning of the game, you play as this random secret agent asshole trying to stop a mysterious figure known as Zero Day from setting off a bomb in Parliament. Well, you do end up disabling the bomb in Parliament, other bombs across the city blow up, killing hundreds of people. And DedSec is blamed for it. And then after this, there was a raid on DedSec, and everyone, including the secret agent guy you were playing, gets killed. Except for its leader. Whose name I forgot, 1 second. Sabine. She then later recruits 3 people after fucking 6 months of nothing, and then the rest of the game happens. Okay, and let me tell you what happens, in the rest of the game. A new villainous figure is introduced. They are very evil and very bad, and you should not like them.
All right, sweetheart, because I have another use for you.
Now, if you're lucky, you'll get 2, maybe 3 missions of build-up or backstory of their character and what they're doing. And then you go and kill them. And that's that. Obviously the main bad guy, fucking the idiot holding Albion, whose name I forgot and I will not be looking up, gets a few more missions, but all of them are, this person is very bad. Honestly, a very large reason as why this story is so forgettable is because there are no fucking characters to attach yourself to. The only consistent characters you have on your side are Bagley, the irritating robot sidekick that, of course, will have a quip for every situation that happens.
Done. You got the files. The inspector will be impressed. Now get out of here before someone decides to turn you into mincemeat. Chop chop.
No kidding.
And also, Sabine, who is totally 100% on your side and will at no point backstab you whatsoever in this game.
And thank you. I know this is getting scary, but you're all brave as fuck. I'm proud to call you my friends.
But even then, that barely counts because she barely crops up during the campaign, which is kind of weird considering that she's the leader of this DedSec division. And the rest of the characters are just random people that all have extremely flat, unmemorable delivery because they all have to come from pre-generated characters that have no goals, motivation, or personality besides whatever surface level trait they are given and the desire to stop the bad guys.
You're right.
Yeah. This was only like, the third most traumatizing thing ever to happen to me, but it's all good.
Fucking excellent.
Fucking hell, look at the mess he's got himself in. Suppose we should get him out. Bagley, give me a location.
They're gunning for us out there. We have to deal with him.
Yes, I wouldn't.
And don't you worry, as previously mentioned, Watch Dogs characters won't be beating games like Yakuza or Red Dead 2. But at least there was a person on the screen that I could see reacting and taking an active part in the story that has their own motivations and reasons for doing this. Versus this game, where no cutscene has any impact at all because the person on screen just has to be a random bozo every single time. To me, the really obvious choice that you would do for a game like this would be to take from RTS games and have a commander character who is essentially the man in the chair, where you have to help operatives navigate the city as well as uncovering the story. It would keep the gameplay idea of play as anyone, but you would still have a character that would be the face of all these people. However, the story is not really the thing about this game that bothers me to my core, and what really just, grinds my gears is the gameplay. Let me tell you, everything this game does to be as uninteresting and basic as possible, while it makes sure to explore its biggest ideas at the most surface level. But first, let's look at all of the features they removed from the previous games. The interactive phone menu that you could pull up while walking? Gone, replaced with a more conventional and boring menu. And you also can't play music on foot anymore. The traffic lights hack, which could help you with police chases by causing collisions behind you, also gone. All of the parkour animations of your character navigating the environment, also gone. The privacy invasion missions, where you could hack into some line and look at weird activities that people are doing behind closed doors, that's also gone. Oh, this is a favorite of mine. The NPCs don't call the cops on you anymore. Hey, remember when this game was trying to portray London as a police state dystopia where you're constantly under the eye of Big Brother? That's kind of a moot point when you can just shoot some random NPC and you get away with it because there's no cops around. Because, why would anyone call the police, I guess? The mass hack ability, which was really cool, was gone until the Bloodlines DLC, but now it's locked behind one character. As you can see, a lot of stuff was removed. So, what did Legion add to make up for all these missing features? So let's see, we got a spider bot that's it's just the RC car from 2. We also have a disguise system that you barely use. It's really bad and annoying. Okay. Oh, here's another wonderful one. The ability to call in police or gang members on a guy, which is only in 2 and not in Legion. Considering the fact that this game has specific characters from specific backgrounds, I don't know why they didn't just staple this ability to one of them. Because they already had it, and they could have just done it. But, you know what? I guess they didn't put the thought into it. Which brings me to my biggest fucking problem with this goddamn game. Now, the main gimmick of this game is its character system. You see, in this game, every single character you come across can be recruited into DedSec. Anyone from an old granny to an underground boxer can be added to your crew. Now, considering this idea, what are some ideas you immediately think about when you have a system like this? Well, you could start out a mission as a spy character who has access to an invisibility witch. But you could also have a hacker character outside that has a little spider bot that sends in to help the spy guy. Maybe you could even attach it to his back like it's a funny little backpack. And then, when you get into the objective and finish it, you can get your 2 characters and hightail it away to a getaway driver who has a special truck and is especially adept at driving away from the Albion guards. That sounds awesome, right? Well, I wish the game actually did that, because first off, you can never have more than 1 character up at a time. So, this elite, massive force of people only ever sends in 1 operative at a time for any mission. And these really special and unique characters have such insanely boring traits and abilities. Oh, this guy has a lower hacking cooldown. This person has the ability to get extra money from takedowns. This guy reduces the time your character is in hospital or jail. 90% of the defining characteristics are just minor stat bonuses. And that's not even the worst of it. You know that special watch the spy guy had? Yeah, no, I lied. That skill, the invisibility cloak, is available to everyone. What the spy guy has that is actually unique to him is a watch that just disables weapons around him. An ability you already have, the only difference is that this one's an AoE. And I also want to add, this ability is just a worse version of the jam ability, which not only stops the enemy from shooting you, it also stuns them, so there's no reason to use the disable weapons perk. Putting that aside, isn't it weird that the invisibility ability, what the fuck, is not locked to a spy character? I feel like that's something that should be specific to a character like that. And that's not the only one, because the spider bot is another gadget that's just open to everyone when it feels like it should just be locked to the hacker characters. The only example I can really think of where there's something that's locked behind a specific character that's cool and interesting is a construction worker has access to a cargo drone, which you can ride to, drop in on objectives or get to higher vantage points. But do you know what main tools are locked behind specific characters? Guns and cars. Because in the game, you only have 4 weapons that are available to everyone, and they're all dog shit non-lethal guns that are just reskins of lethal versions in the game, and their only defining characteristic is, they work slightly better against drones. So, if you see a character that has, a cool revolver, or a sniper rifle, or any other kind of weapon, you have to switch to that specific character to use it, instead of that weapon being available to everyone now. You see, in a very strange way, this game reminds me of Battlefield 2042. You see, these are both games that decided they wanted to go with a more hero shooter / special character kind of system. And yet, they completely miss the point of these games, because they don't give these characters unique personalities with unique abilities and equipment that are specific to that person and are completely distinct from everyone else. They take regular items that in any other game you would just have even in previous entries of the series, and it just arbitrarily locks them behind a random face for no reason. Why can't my characters just equip whatever guns that we have? Why isn't there a garage so that we can take whatever car DedSec has stolen? If you wanted to lock guns behind characters, you could have made it so that a gun store will have more options opened up if you have weapon dealers on your team, which is a profession that exists in this game, by the way. But the only unique trait these guys commonly have is that they will generally have access to guns that other characters don't. Except, no, not really, because I found a fucking random clerk guy, and he had an MP5 on him. There's this mission where you have to seduce some random wench for some reason or other that I don't remember. But when I first played this game, I had approached her as a woman operative, and she rejected me because she wasn't attracted to women. So I had to switch to a male operative to successfully seduce her. See, that was interesting. I thought, wow, that's a funny way to use this system, because it addressed the fact that certain people have different desires, and you have a whole slew of people, so you had to find one to fit that. Until on my second playthrough, I did the mission again, this time as a guy character. And then the same thing happened, because it turns out the game just automatically fails you on the first gender you use, so then you just have to switch to the other one. So instead of a funny character interaction that uses the system to its strengths, it's just like needlessly extending itself to fit its mission structure, which is so lame. At another point in the game, the identities of all your operatives gets exposed, and so Albion is now onto you. You have to be more cautious, constantly being stealthy in order to avoid the attention of Albion, who's now breathing down on your neck more than ever. Except, no, because even though this is a plot point that is explicitly pointed out by the characters, where everyone is saying Albion's onto me, everyone knows I'm a part of DedSec, it doesn't change anything. As in, you could just walk up to Albion guards and drones, and they won't do anything, because even though the game says they're supposedly on your tail, they couldn't be fucked to actually make it so that they're aware of you now. What is the point of bringing up this plot point if you're not going to even address it in the fucking gameplay? It's what? Even the most basic shit in this game that would just make sense to have is either absent or inexplicably terrible. You know those stun guns I was talking about earlier? It occurred to me on my second playthrough of the game that, another use of this could be that if you run into a character that you want to recruit later on, instead of killing them, you can use the non-lethal weapons, so you don't get stuck in a situation where you're forced to kill an operative you may want to recruit. Except, oh wait, if you knock out any NPC in this game, they now hate you and are impossible to recruit to your team. So, non-lethal guns are just fucking pointless, basically. And the design of these missions do not accommodate your special characters at all. Instead of having a puzzle or mission that is open-ended and allows you to use your abilities to solve it, they'll just give you the thing to solve the puzzle. Oh, here's a server that needs to be hacked. Well, anyways, we're not going to make it open-ended. Here's a spider drone, or here's a flying drone right here that we're going to give you so that you can solve the preset puzzle that we tossed into this game that we said is a sandbox. You know, what really opened my eyes to how much of a sandbox this game really was when I was streaming it to my friends, and I had an objective that required me to destroy some boxes. And they were yelling at me for, going in to shoot them. They were like, fucking throw a grenade in, or, throw a bomb in, be creative, what are you doing? And I had to explain to them that I can't. The only way for me to destroy these boxes is to fucking shoot them. This game is a terrible sandbox where nearly none of your choices have any sort of distinct difference. When I tackle an encampment in Ghost of Tsushima, there are a bunch of decisions I can make that will be actively changing the encounter. Using a smoke bomb in the middle of a fight is a choice I am making and I can use in a different manner. I can use it to kill confused enemies, or maybe slink back into stealth. Both that can come with their own advantages and drawbacks that change depending on the level design and the situation you are in. There are no drawbacks or any sort of interesting evolving situations for 99% of the abilities in Legion. You just use the disable the person ability or the turret ally ability, you take them out, and that's that. Ghost of Tsushima isn't even a sandbox game, but at a pure minimum, I feel like the choices I make actually matter, versus in a game that actively proclaims itself to be a sandbox, where I assume your choices would, matter. Dude, when I open up the map and I see all of the Ubisoft outposts and side activities, my brain just thinks of how much more interesting this game could be. What if you could send operatives to specific areas for different functions? Like, you could send nurses and doctors to an area with protesters so that dead sex reputation is improved, as well as decreasing the presence of Albion guards. Or you could send a protest leader to an area to rile the guards up, and then pull them away from a facility that's close to them, making it easier to infiltrate. Even the example I was talking about earlier, where you get multiple operatives with different skills to work together and infiltrate a facility or distract Albion guards. Imagine how interesting it could be if the further you get into the game, the more and more difficult it is to evade Albion, and you see more and more security countermeasures being put up, with cameras being placed on street corners, people getting consistently stopped and searched. Some of your operatives could even start getting wanted signs, and now they have to navigate the streets way more stealthily. What we get instead is a more cumbersome and glorified selection menu. What really gets to me about this game is that it feels like it's on the opposite end of the spectrum of bad, while Omicron the Nomad Soul is on the other end. Now, I suggest that you watch my video on Omicron to kind of understand what I have to say, but it'll really help put things into perspective. The best way that I could put it is that Omicron the Nomad Soul is a guy in the park dressed up as a sci-fi Nordic god and is trying to promote his concept album. It's not good, but it's weird and entrancing in a way, because you're just sitting there thinking, what is going on in this guy's head? What is he doing? Watch Dogs Legion is going to McDonald's and asking for a new burger they are promoting. You get the burger, and you realize, oh, this is a Big Mac except they put relish on it. And it's missing cheese, tomatoes, and lettuce. This game is so basic, boring, and incompetently made that I just think, how could you come up with something like this and be this uninterested in exploring an idea you came up with? Because unfortunately, that is now Ubisoft's MO. They will come up with an interesting idea, and then make sure to deliver on it in the safest, most lowest common denominator way possible. Now, to wrap this all up in a really gay art student way, Watch Dogs Legion to me is a true representation of what bad art is. It's not when someone fails spectacularly at whatever concept he's trying to do, because often that's still extremely entertaining to me. No, what truly bad art is art that is so bland, generic, and safe to just appeal to the widest demographic possible. It really sucks that it happened to this series, because I liked these games, and I thought it could have evolved in a really interesting way. But I guess after the release of this game, I guess this franchise is dead, and nothing else will come from it. Oh, 1 second, I'm getting a call, alright. Hey man, how's it going? Wait, what are you talking about? They're making a movie?! Oh my god, this is so... I don't think my day could get any worse than this. Wait, what's this email? I'm gonna firebomb my friends.